breathing is because these bubbles are actually what they're working with, and they're all interconnected, and that we have this strange compartmentalized institutional thing that we do to our bodies, and we get these strange results. And as we all know, do very odd things to children, like put them on pills and stuff to get them to stay inside the box. And it's the same for the horses. And I did this talk at the main event last year, and I had a little horse that I didn't know anything about. And one of the things you'll see today is that when you speak truth or something that resonates with them, that's truth for them that they can't speak, or truth for us, they will do this amazing yawning and releasing with their jaw and their mouth. And I was talking about this, and I was talking about horses being reprimanded for bad behavior and for having strange stall habits. And he had been standing on the other side of the pen. We'd finished the demonstration, so he was just kind of chilling out. And as I started talking, he moved to the middle of the pen, and he was just going, "Oh gosh, thank goodness, finally someone's talking about this, thank you." And I didn't say that to the crowd. All I said was, I have a feeling he's agreeing with me, was how I put it. Which is, I just think it's awesome. Rather than having them struggle, is to have this awareness. So that's sort of an example of me translating for them. We live in this 8 to 10% of our conscious mind. We live in an awareness of about 8 to 10% of our system. We have this absolutely incredible avatar that we wander around on, that if you will, from a very spiritual place, that we are consciousness. We've come down to experience planet Earth, and this thing is the perfect design. It's the perfect spacesuit to be on planet Earth. And we're using, I actually was thinking the analogy this morning, it's a bit like me owning a Mac. I use it to be on Facebook and do email, and it has the capacity to do another 90% of things that I have no clue about. I just know that it's a beautiful machine, that I'm using this tiny. So that's such a lovely analogy, I think, because we're using a minute amount of our spacesuit, because we've been conditioned to operate from this place, and that our entire system has multi-dimensional layers of appreciation, how to appreciate our world. And our senses, our 5 senses, 6 senses if you include intuition, are tools within this system. And our emotions are another set of tools that are a way of, that we again have suppressed. It's like, no, we don't want to have those. We'd rather just keep looking into the future instead of being in the moment, because we're taught that these emotions are this inconvenient thing that just happens in these strange suits that we have no control over, and we'd rather just ignore it and keep going. And yet, if we can come back to living from our heart, which I believe the organ of the heart and the way the heart expresses is through love. So you can say that from a physical place and an emotional place and a mental place. When you're in that place and you're looking out at the world, there's an appreciation and a joy for all of what it is, regardless of what it is. There isn't the judgment. There isn't the, oh, well, it should look like this, or it could look like that. It's just the way it is. And there's a way of operating that we have shut down, that is, we use the word being rather than doing, because when we're doing, we're mostly in our conscious mind and we're in action. I also want to say that I think that there's a way where we initially have to be quiet and still to learn or remember how to be. But then there's a way of being in your doing. So for me anyway at the moment, the ultimate is to stay present while I'm in action. So it's not about sitting with your legs crossed, zenned out, meditating. That's not what we're talking about as far as being. There is a need to become quiet in order to start to listen, because the heart and the intuition and the subconscious talks very quietly. It doesn't yell and scream and shout like the conscious mind. It's quiet and it's subtle, so we don't hear it, or it's very easy to erase it without becoming quiet and becoming non-verbal, which is what we love to do. And that's why the horses are so effective at helping us, because they live without words, and yet they're not whispering. They're talking very clearly when we are able to understand their language and how the two systems are interconnected. So my delight and passion is to teach people simple tools to start to understand that, and they're like stretching new muscles. You have to play with them and keep repeating them until they become the way you are, and suddenly you sort of look behind you and go, gosh, I actually do that automatically now. That's so cool, which is the same as anything that we do regularly. So I think I want to end there.